Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be taking some Metalhead quizzes maybe. I'm gonna do a tag. I just thought it'd be kind of cool. I did a couple tags on my own, and then I decided, I'll record it and I'll capture the screen, and I got this one tag that I haven't actually looked through yet. And I got it through this YouTuber, Midnight Owl, you see right there, and she says that it was created by AQ Mortis. Apparently this is the video he did it in. So the tag questions are, how long have you been a metalhead? That's the first one, so I'm just gonna go through them, and answer them. And let's see, how long have you been a metalhead? It's kind of been off and on though. Like, I didn't really get into it until like 2017, I didn't really dive into it until this year. 2, how were you introduced to metal? Well, my older siblings liked a lot of bands like Slipknot and Korn and Disturbed, and they listened to them a lot, and so I kind of heard those bands through them. And that's kind of how I was introduced to it at first. My older siblings would buy metal CDs and then load them into our iTunes on our computer, and then I ended up kind of finding a lot of bands through there. Like I found Demon Hunter and In Flames and like 18 Visions and I don't know, bands like that. I heard Arch Enemy for the first time through there. I'm not really an Arch Enemy fan, but I still think it's kind of cool. 3, what is/are your favorite subgenres of metal? I'd say my 3 favorites are probably melodic death metal, which is something I was introduced to this year, and I really like a lot of what I've heard from it. My second pick would be progressive metal. Dream Theater was pretty much like the first metal band I got into, and I just love their sound, they're one of my favorite bands. They probably always will be, and I grew up with some progressive rock, and so I just like progressive elements, in music, and I think it sounds really good. I really like it. And then my third favorite would probably be nu metal. Nu metal is a genre that got pretty mainstream, but like at the same time, I don't really know. It kind of introduced me to a lot of metal, and so I gotta give it credit, And I do like the sound of it. I think rap mixes with metal very well, and so I can't really complain. I'm surprised so many people hate it. They don't want it to be mainstream, because a lot of people want to keep metal very small and exclusive, and when nu metal became as huge as it was, it wasn't really as small and exclusive, and it did use a lot of elements from like hip-hop and rock, and so a lot of people didn't call it, people were like, oh, it's not true metal, but I don't know, I like the sound of it a lot. 4, what is your favorite band/song? Song, like ever? Shoot, I mean, my favorite band is probably either Red, and I know Red's not really a metal band, alternative metal. If you really want to push it, then I guess they're alternative metal, but really they're just more hard rock. And then another one of my favorite bands is Slipknot, and they are metal. They're one of my favorite bands, mostly because they introduced me to a lot more music, I really just gotta give them credit where it's due, and I like their sound a lot. I love their guitar tones, and I don't know, I really like them. I adjusted the laptop, it was kind of overheating and making some noise, so yeah. Alright. Oh, I didn't say what my favorite song of all time was. One of my favorite songs of all time is a song called Themata by Carnival. Again, I don't know if Carnival counts as metal, Carnival is kind of one of those bands that like kind of is in between rock and metal. I don't really know which one to call them. They were kind of metal in their older days, but now they're kind of like progressive rock. Got a lot of sides to it, it's catchy in the chorus and everything, but like the way that Ian Kenny is singing in the verse, I really enjoy that part, and man, I love everything about that song. So that is one of my favorite songs of all time, and that's really all I know to say. I guess that's my favorite song. 5, how many shows have you attended? Oh gosh, how many concerts have I been to, like, in general? I don't really know. I'm gonna count the ones I think off the top of my head. Okay. Heart. I saw Heart live. That was my first concert, and they were really good. I mean, they're getting older, but man, they're still so good live and everything. I saw Heart. I saw Tesla, another older band, I guess. I saw Red twice, and I saw Skillet once at Winter Jam. I was a big fan of Skillet at one point. I saw, who else? I saw 1000 Foot Crutch live twice. I saw, I've never actually been to a metal concert, so keep in mind these are pretty much all rock bands. Oh, I saw Icon for Hire live once. And I also saw, I'm trying to look on my wall to like see some inspiration. How many concerts is that? Like 8? I guess I've been to 8 concerts. I don't know. I mean, there might have been like one I've forgotten about over time. I'm not really sure. But yeah, I think I've been to like 8 concerts. I'm going to go to another one in March. 6. What do you love about the subculture / music? What do I love? I love the guitar tones. That's like one of my favorite things in metal. For some reason, I just love the distortion. I love all the distortion in metal. For some reason, it just, oh, it sounds so good. I love the drumming in metal too. It's like, drumming really makes a song heavier. Like, honestly, drumming is probably even more important to metal and hard rock than guitars are to hard rock and metal. Like, yeah, that's pretty much how important it is. And I really like the technical side of metal a lot because the drumming is so good. And I'm not even a drummer, but I really love drums. I feel like they add a lot to this kind of music. And yeah, when it comes to metal too, I really like the technical side of it because a lot of like progressive metal is inspired by classical, and I played a lot of classical music on piano when I first started playing piano, and now I play some classical music on violin now that I'm playing violin. And I see those influences so much. I see why metal is compared to classical music, especially with these kind of bands, you know, and I really just, I love how they can bring that back, you know, and use those influences. That's probably one of my favorite things about metal is its link to classical music. Some of the vocal styles are really cool in metal. Some of them I can't stand, to be honest. I still am picky with a lot of vocals, especially in extreme metal genres. Like, there are certain bands I just cannot get into, like, I can't, you know? So I can't really, I guess vocals are kind of hit or miss when it comes to metal sometimes. But yeah, I mostly go for like guitar, bass, you know. I guess that's what I love about the music. The subculture, I mostly just kind of pay attention to the music, you know. But one thing I do like is that there's a lot of good metalhead memes out there. The humor, I guess, of metalheads, like, I've noticed that, like, I don't know, that part of the subculture is really cool to me. 7, what do you dislike about the subculture / music? Okay, what I dislike about the music, well, we're gonna get into the vocals a little bit now, and maybe some of the lyrics. I don't like a lot of the satanic imagery that is seen in certain subgenres. I don't like some vocal styles in metal. I don't like the vocals used in black metal, and I don't like the vocals used in some death metal. Keyword some. Some death metal vocalists are really good, and then some of them are just like, no. You know, it really just depends on the person. I'm trying so hard to come up with things I don't like about it, and it's kind of hard for me. There is a lot of things I dislike about the subculture, though. There are a lot of metalheads that are not very welcoming to new metalheads, you know? It's like, if you just got into metal and you don't really know much about it, you're in for it. It's hard to find that gateway into heavier genres, into more obscure subgenres, you know? And it's very hard to find that gateway when everyone wants to keep you away from the gates, you know? I mean, not everyone, but you know what I mean. I don't like how certain subgenres of metal, like, the fans will try to keep it so small that they won't let anyone in, you know? They gotta quiz you and be like, hey, what is the name of Chuck Schuldiner side project, you know, or something like that. But at the same time, I have encountered some welcoming people in the community. 8. What do your parents and friends think of your music and or look? My dad is a huge Megadeth fan, so he doesn't really, I mean, they don't really mind, you know, they're not into like as much metal as me, but at the same time they are hardcore like rockers, you know, they really love rock music, and metal started off as a subgenre of rock. They don't really oppose it, they're not just like, oh, it's a bad influence. Like, no, they're not really like that, you know, they're totally fine with it. It's just, they can't really get into like scream vocals. Friends. Now Friends are an interesting story. I mean, there are some internet friends I have that I have found just because we like the same music. But when it comes to real life friends, you know, actual friends, they don't really get it, you know. 9. Your opinion on the core genres of music and screamo. Okay. My opinion on the core genres. Metalcore. Well, metalcore is kind of an interesting thing. I don't really like a whole lot of metalcore. A lot of the breakdowns I feel like in metalcore kind of sound similar, you know. I feel like there isn't a whole lot of creative new things happening in metalcore. I do like some metalcore bands, including Demon Hunter, August Burns Red, and Trivium. I don't know if Trivium's really metalcore. They're kind of everything, I guess. They kind of blend a lot of subgenres together. But the first two, definitely my favorite metalcore bands. And oh wait, 18 Visions, I forgot about 18 Visions. I do like them. I don't know though, like, I cannot really get into metalcore. It's redundant and repetitive and it's all the same crap and I get sick of it and it's not interesting to me. You know? I understand there are some good metalcore bands out there, not every single metalcore band is like that, but still I don't really like it because I don't really care for the sound a whole lot. Okay, and what is my opinion on screamo? I have never used the word screamo in my life, and I don't want to start. I just don't think it's an actual thing. Like, I'm trying to think of what even is screamo? People who don't like metal or don't know anything about it, they just call it screamo because they don't know what else to call it. And I don't even think it's an actual genre. I think it's just a label. What is freaking screamo? I'm capturing my screen. I could figure it out. Screamo. Screamo, musical style. Screamo is an aggressive style of emo that emerged in the early 1990s, combining musical intensity with willfully experimental dissonance and dynamics. Okay, parent genres include emo, hardcore punk, and post-hardcore. Okay, a lot of those things are connected with metalcore, so a lot of people call metalcore screamo. I guess that makes more sense. What are some of the bands associated? Mainstream crossovers. Let's see in here. Do I recognize any of these? I recognize the Blood Brothers. Yeah, Blood Brothers is an Iron Maiden song. I don't... I'm pretty sure... I guess I haven't heard of it, though. I don't recognize any of these. I do recognize The Used, Thrice, Thursday, and Silverstein. I recognize... And Alexis on Fire. I've recognized all those bands. Okay. Screamo bands such as Thursday and The Used have signed multi-album contracts with labels such as Island Def Jam and Reprise Records. Okay, so contemporary revival. I'm gonna see which bands are included in here. Touche Amore. That's like a new, a kind of like new metalcore band, if I'm not mistaken. I have heard about Law Dispute. Screamo is a style of hardcore punk influenced emo with screaming. Alright. Alright, so it is an actual thing. Because you see, a lot of people just label something screamo if it has screaming in it. But it actually, that's not what it is at all. So I guess, you know, my opinion has changed on it. What is your least favorite subgenres of metal? Least favorite? Well, metalcore. Metalcore is one of them. Black metal's another one. It's not completely fair that I list black metal because I'm not too experienced with a lot of black metal. Like, I don't know hardly any black metal, really. I mean, I might be able to name a few bands that I've heard of, but I haven't heard hardly any actual music from that genre, so I don't really know. I don't know, I just don't like all of the things surrounding black metal. There's no bass in their mix. From the black metal songs I have heard, it sounds like it's all high frequency, and it's not carefully crafted, it's not well constructed, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't like the vocal style. That's more personal preference, though. I mean, I guess all of it is personal preference, but whatever. I don't like all the stigmas that surround it. Yeah, those are my two least favorites, I guess. 11. How would you define the metal subculture and music as a whole? What does it mean to you? Well, the subculture is misunderstood. I think there are some welcoming metal fans, you know. You just have to dig a little deeper to find them, I think. And the music as a whole, the music is just, it opened me up to so many different bands, so many different subgenres, you know, and it opened me up to a whole different style of playing, you know, playing instruments. Iron Maiden and Dream Theater and Metallica, you know, I love the bass lines to those, you know, and it gave me more passion to play bass, you know, and so it really does mean a lot to me, you know, and yeah, I don't know. And then the bonus question is, how many metal subgenres can you name without stopping or editing the video? So, since we're recording the screen right now, you can tell that I'm not gonna cheat. Okay, here we go. I'm not gonna try to name them super quickly, but I will try to come up with some off of the top of my head, you know, and I might go super like sub-genre, but I'm just gonna try to name off everything that I can think of, okay? Okay, metalcore, nu metal, death metal, brutal death metal, technical death metal, progressive metal, power metal, heavy metal, yes, it's a genre, symphonic metal, blackened death metal, shoot, that's 10. Come on, keep going. My mind is completely blank right now. Thrash metal, black metal, obviously. Think. Okay, I got 12 out of the way. Without stopping, well, I already kind of stopped, so I guess 12 subgenres. I'm probably gonna kick myself for this later because there's probably a million subgenres I could have named that I didn't. But yeah, that is the video. That is the Metalhead Tag or whatever by Midnight Owl and Aki Mortis. I'm terrible at pronouncing these. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up maybe, even though it was kind of cringy and kind of like long-winded and yeah. But still, it was pretty fun to film and stuff and talk about metal and all that, and so yeah, pretty cool. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Walk. What did you say?